All right, we are live on Dodgers Digest. Mike Nelson here with Brad J on this Monday morning. Hopefully, everybody's having a great day today. Hopefully, you have your coffee. I got my coffee too. How you doing today, Brad?
I'm doing really good, man. A little better after a W.
That's right. The Dodgers avoided a sweep yesterday, getting a much-needed win after losing the first two games out in St. Louis. Friday was a bad loss, and then Saturday was another bad loss as well. The offense had one run in 18 innings, but yesterday it was back to business against a rookie pitcher, right? The Cardinals had one of their young pitchers out there, and the Dodgers took advantage.
RISP, right? Runners in scoring
That's right.
position. Is that the deal right there?
That's right.
Well, that needed to happen, man. That was the problem right there. Is the Dodgers just couldn't put things together, and you just when you see those kind of situations, oh man. And here's the thing, it's still in first place, so it's not like, oh my gosh, we got to trade, we got to do whatever, blah 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 blah. But we're still in first place. Yes, you want to win the series, number one. If you have a 3 games, you're supposed to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. Dodgers should have beat Cards at least 2 of those 3 games, but they salvaged the last one. And Kershaw, of all the guys, comes out and has a great game.
Yeah, his best start of the season yesterday, right? 5 innings, got his first win,
Bro, that's
shutout,
got to,
baseball.
bro, that's got to be his best start, and not just then. I mean, even going back to when he was pitching a little bit more, that's probably goes back to then. That probably goes back,
You talking about
a
last
year.
year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
first
that's
start
got to
since
go.
first great start since last year, probably for
Yeah,
Kershaw.
7 strikeouts.
Yeah,
I mean, who saw that coming? What's his number now? He is the Kershaw watch, 17 to go for
yeah.
3,000.
Hopefully, in the next month or so, we can reach the 3,000 mark. It definitely, like you mentioned, Brad, it was one of those vintage Kershaw starts. He was good right from the beginning. The Cardinals never really had a chance in this game. All the Cardinals kind of came back a little bit there at the end with the Dodgers bullpen, but the Dodgers were able to get some insurance runs to kind of make give themselves some more be more comfortable there at
Yeah.
the end, which is great.
Well, I mean, I took some heat. Last time you and I did a live one was we started talking about Kershaw, and then I was called out by somebody saying that I was harsh on Kershaw, and I really was really mad at me over something. One of the viewers, and I'm like, I mean, did I really? Was I that bad on Kershaw? Because I think you know me and how I stand on Kershaw. I'm a huge fan of Kershaw. I have been since day one. All we were saying, let me reiterate, was now that he doesn't throw, and he was throwing 91 yesterday, but even though he doesn't throw 96 anymore or something like that, he has to place his pitches a little bit better. He's got to have a different style of pitching than he used to when he could blow guys away with a really good fastball. So he doesn't have that, but he has such command and he knows how to pitch. So there was no harshing against Kershaw. It was more about, look, he has to change his pitching style and adapt to be worthy of something, to be able to help the Dodgers win. And man, adapt is what he did. He pitched great and deserved it. And so there's no harsh out of me on Kersh. I'm a huge fan of Kershaw. Huge fan of Kershaw.
No,
Sorry, I had to get that one out.
No, I know. Yeah, there were some people that were kind of upset about that, but yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
think Kershaw, played great. I think that's an important thing. The Dodgers, we were saying at the beginning of the show, really needed to get that win yesterday. They didn't want to get swept. After not winning the series against the Mets, right? Let's not forget they split the series against the Mets. They
Yeah.
didn't win that series. They could have easily lost all four of those games. You had to come back and
Oh,
win two of those. This is the first time all week, Brad, that they actually took the lead and won the game, right? Because all week long they were losing from the beginning, which
yeah.
is not a good way to win baseball games.
Exactly. Exactly. But Kershaw came out and he's made adjustments to what he does as a pitcher. And he's really like the placement. The ball was moving all over the place. He was really, really doing a good job. So, big fan of Kershaw. And did you see what the Cardinals did before the game?
What happened?
Did you read the article about this one?
No.
So, before the game, let's take it back to 2014 when the Dodgers got eliminated from the playoffs.
Okay.
2014, Matt Adams hits a home run against Kershaw
Yeah.
to basically end their chances. It was done, and the Dodgers were out. They played that moment while Kershaw was warming up.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Like, and what did Kershaw his his thought was this. He said it was full Bush League, but he doesn't expect much out of them. But it was a Bush League move by St. Louis to do that, and I agree.
Yeah.
That's a pretty crappy thing to do.
11 years
Like,
later, right? Rubbing it
yeah,
in.
what in 2014? Like that was such the important year. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Cards, for helping out with that. But Kershaw spoke up, didn't like it, but in the end, he had a great game. 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, lowered his ERA to 4.35, first win. I mean, that's got to feel pretty good. And 17 to 3,000. So big ups on Kershaw, what he did.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on. What's up with the Cardinals? I mean, they're not selling out games, it seems. I mean, a lot of the games this weekend were kind of like half full. I don't know what's going on with that.
Half full of Dodger fans.
Yeah, I know, basically. But I mean, I don't know. St. Louis, it's been kind of weird how, because I mean, I visited that ballpark. It's really fun to go, watch a baseball game there. But it seems like their attendance has been down, which is a little bit strange. I don't know what's going on with that, but.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't even remember what their contention was last year, but I mean, they haven't been performing at the top, and I think when that team is performing,
Right now they're a good team. I mean, they're fighting for the
yeah,
wild card. I mean,
they are. I mean, they're only a couple wins behind what the Dodgers have right now.
Yeah,
like 2 or 3 wins, so their record's very close. But I don't know why it's not like the years like the Pujols years.
Yeah,
like, come on, man, they would pack that stadium in.
Yeah.
No, I don't know exactly why that would be. That they're doing that, especially you would think that's an opportunity for Dodger fans to get out to a game when you're playing in a different stadium.
I know it's really hot though in St. Louis this time of year. Super humid.
Way hot, way hot. We're getting Lawrence Perlmutter says we need a sweep. So
I need a sweep against San Diego. That would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Dodgers sweep San Diego with all the injuries that they have right now, I mean, I think it's basically done for San Diego, right, Brad? I mean, if they, it's over.
Well, Jeff Roll says pitching matchups not favoring us. Hopefully Dustin is good. Yeah, Dustin starts it off, and then there's not somebody listed for Tuesday.
It's a bullpen start, probably Tuesday, and Wednesday is Robleski. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I don't, I mean, does Robleski? You got some guys back. Can you do a couple bullpen games? I mean, I don't know. And I wasn't really bummed on Gonsolin being injured, because I didn't think he was contributing at some point. I almost thought when he takes them out, it's going to be a loss, or it has been. And I'm not trying to harsh the guy, but if you look at what he's been part of every time he started, it seems like Dodgers don't come out ahead of that game. Well, so him being on the injured list, I wasn't. And then it's not as bad as he thought, right? It's not torn, I guess.
No, yeah, the UCL is intact, which is what Dave Roberts said yesterday. But the only problem with this injury, Brad, is that with Tony Gonsolin out, you're once again going to have to resort to the bullpen. It's already really taxed. I mean, the Dodgers really have they're going to be doing these bullpen games and using Robleski and also Landon Knack, another pitcher that you wouldn't expect to be with the Dodgers. It's been great, but we'll see how long that continues. So that's what's a big concern, right? You're using a lot of guys that you don't want to be using this time of year, especially this week. I mean, playing 3 against San Diego, 3 against San Francisco, and this is the time for those teams to really take advantage of the Dodgers' injuries. I mean, if the Dodgers win these games this week, I just can't see how these other, how does San Diego or San Francisco stay in the race if the Dodgers take care of business with all the injuries that they have? I think this is a key week for the other teams. Obviously for the Dodgers too, but I think for the other teams it's more important.
Okay, well, let me tell you what's key for the Dodgers in this one. I like when you bring that up. So you have to look at it this way too, though. Who's just come back for the Dodgers? You got Kopech now back. Kirby Yates is back. So you got some more bullpen support. And Tanner Scott has kind of turned it around from those mistakes that he was having, those blown saves that he had earlier. So at least you got that. So if you want to go glass half full, glass half empty, I like the fact that we've bolstered our bullpen a little bit more. And they've made a couple other moves too as well. But you need quality starts out of your starter. And that's the only way to save the bullpen. So May could really set the freaking tone of this whole series by going 7 innings. Like if the dude could go 7 innings for the Dodgers and they don't have to tax the bullpen, that would be a huge help, don't you think, for the Dodgers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously, if May were to go deep in this game, it would be great. Yeah. The Dodgers would be set up for Tuesday and Wednesday, which is going to be a challenge. But if that doesn't happen and they have to go to the bullpen early, then that complicates things for Tuesday and Wednesday where they don't have really, I mean, Tuesday, think about it. Like, they haven't even listed a starter because they're probably going to have to go to the bullpen. And they already said Wednesday, a day game is going to be Wrobleski. But it's not the best situation at all for the Dodgers
No.
because think about this last week, we kind of saw the Dodgers taking on good teams, right? I mean, the Mets and Cardinals are probably both. I mean, the Mets probably are a playoff team. The Cardinals still up in the air. You know, they're playing great right now. I don't know if they'll keep it going, but
Yeah, can they
they're
keep it up? Yeah.
but they're both good teams, and now they're going to play another good team tonight, and also San Diego, as we know. I mean, you know the place well. It's going to be filled up. It's going to be super loud. There's going to be Dodger fans, but you know the Padre fans are going to definitely bring it in these 3 games because they're pissed off about last year. I mean, they lost in the playoffs. You know, they had a really big chance to eliminate the Dodgers in that game 4 at home, and they blew it. So tonight, the fans are going to be super into it, and the Dodgers are going to be up for the challenge with Dustin May and whoever they have the next couple days on the mound, which is, I think, obviously offensively the Dodgers are going to score runs, but can they, tread water and not go down 4 or 5-0 like they did against the Mets?
Oh my gosh! And that was funny because you and I were just talking about that in the live show before the next game, where the Dodgers gave up 5 runs in like the first 3 innings of the game. It's like that's the kind of stuff that when you play from behind like that. Yeah, sure, they're spectacular wins when you get them, but you don't get as many wins when you're always coming from behind 5 runs down. So
they didn't do it in game 1 against St. Louis.
No.
They got shut down, and that was it. I mean,
yeah, and
it's tougher on the road, I think. Now they're going to be at San Diego. They came back against the Mets twice at Dodger Stadium. It's really tough to do that on the road. It's tougher, I think, coming back on the road.
The game, the 2-1 loss, the 2-1 loss. You looked at what your big 3 guys
on Saturday against St. Louis. Okay.
Yeah, and those guys were all 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 5. Like all those guys were, right? And so when your big 3 or your big 4 are not produce or do not produce in a game, and your other 4 guys can't chip in, and everyone's going to 0 for, well, then you're not going to win games. So it's like in a perfect world, do you really want the Dodgers of like if the top guys of Freeman, who's been struggling as of recent, if you got guys like him or Betts that aren't playing well, someone else has to pick up the pace. You know what I mean? Someone else has to step it up. That means your Confortos. That means your Muncie's in there. That means your Pajes is in there. Your Edmund. Those guys got to step up. And when you see the rest of the guys go silent, with Ohtani going silent, or Freeman and Betts and all those guys not having a game, then it's like it's over before it even starts.
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers can't win low-scoring games because they don't have the pitching. I mean, even if they are all back, I mean, they don't have that kind of elite pitching where you feel they're gonna have to score 4 or 5 runs this series again. I mean, that's just the way it's gonna go for them. It's always been that way since last year. That's how they won the World Series. So if they don't score, if this team doesn't score a lot of runs, they're not going to win anything again. I mean, that's just the way it works. But for this team, at least, I'm not concerned about that, Brad. I think this team, they might have had some offers the last few days, but I think they're going to score runs. I mean, come on, look at the names they have. I think the concern, especially this week, which I don't know what everybody thinks out there, is how do the Dodgers, get through like what we're talking about, having bullpen games, having Wrobleski. Yamamoto was used. What was it on? Was Saturday, right? And we're not going to see him until next weekend. He's not going to pitch against San Diego. He'll be ready to go against the Giants. But that's like the next time the Dodgers have somebody where they're confident is going to go, a lot of innings, right? Because Dustin May hasn't looked too good his last few starts, right?
No, you're right.
You hope he turns it around tonight, but he hasn't looked very good the last few times he's been out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, there again, I'll go right back to what I said before. Dustin May can set the pace of the series. And remember, we're not talking just 3 games against the Padres. We're talking 3 games the Padres and immediately the Giants and then back to the Padres at home. So
it's a tough stretch,
Yeah, it's a tough stretch. So that's when I go say about setting the tone. That's exactly what Dustin May needs to do. He needs to set the tone, and he needs to have a quality start. Minimum 6 innings, minimum. But if he could go 7 and keep the Dodgers in this to get a W off the bat, come on, that doesn't help. Momentum, baby. It's all about momentum at that point, and that's what the Dodgers are pushing. So for May, there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders because it's a bullpen, I guess, the next day. But, yeah, the pressure is definitely going to be on him to have a quality start. Hey, here's something I just read. We were talking about the Kershaw. They played the home run of Matt Adams hitting the home run against Kershaw, eliminating the Dodgers in the playoffs in 2014. Jeff Roll says they kept playing it over and over again on
Wow,
the screen.
that's crazy.
That is full Bush League right
Wow,
there.
that's wild.
That was like when the Padres did the crying Kershaw.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Like, why make fun of Kershaw? Leave him alone, right?
Yeah, that's not cool at all. What else we got?
Yeah.
We got we got Ryan saying I'm worried about this series. You got Pivetta, Cease, Vasquez against May, Miller, and Robleski. Batting practice. Well, I don't know if it's batting practice for San Diego because I mean
Yeah.
San Diego's not the high-powered offense the Dodgers have. I mean, think about outside of Machado and
Yeah.
and basically Machado's having a good year for them. Outside of him, it's not really they don't really have the elite lineup for the Dodgers. I'm more concerned about like Ryan's saying. I mean, if these pitchers have good starts, and they only give 1 or 2 runs, and the Dodgers are giving up 5 or 6 runs, then the Dodgers are going to again be down come the late innings, right? And can they come back against the Padres bullpen? Obviously it's not as strong as last year's bullpen because they lost Tanner Scott, right? That's a big loss for them. Now he's on the Dodgers, right? I mean, the Padres really used Tanner Scott a lot last year, and that was one of their weapons, but now he's gone. So, how did the Dodgers? That's I think my concern how they do against these starting pitchers.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing to bring up because I mean you look like we're just kind of using duct tape to put our starters in line for who to play next or who's going to start next. So well they got to come out and they got to answer. They got to answer to it. And that kid on the mound, what was it yesterday? What UCSB Santa Barbara graduate. That guy's a pretty darn good pitcher, and the Dodgers actually paid attention, teed up. Look, what was the first hit, the first pitch of the game? Ohtani's double. I mean,
Yeah.
the Dodgers didn't get him in on that one, but aggressive. They're going to have to be aggressive. I think the way they were against the Cards. But you look at what other teams have been doing, and you look at the amount of fastballs that other teams have been throwing the Dodgers, and it's not a lot. The Dodgers have been getting a steady stream of off-speed pitches from all their opponents that have been facing them. That's been their kryptonite.
We got what is it, Raider Man saying, "What's up, Brad Stradamus and Mike? We're kind of limping into this series. What's the concern level?" Well, the concern level for me is it's kind of high because I don't know how you feel, Brad, but I'm kind of concerned about this week because of like we're talking about the pitching, and because I know the other teams, San Diego and the Giants, know that this is basically the season for them, right?
It is.
I mean, come on, if the Dodgers win these games, I mean, I think everybody can agree out there. The Dodgers take care of business and win 5 or 6 games this week. It's over. The Dodgers are not even close to being 100%. I mean, it's that simple, right? I mean, I don't know if people see it that way, but I don't know what you think, Brad.
I'm optimistic about it. I'm optimistic because I feel like May, once again, can set the tone for the whole entire team. So May comes out, pitches a good game. Bats come out. They get aggressive like they were against the Cards last game, and they get some hits and they get some RISP, some runners in scoring position, actually score. And they do that, and they can start things out. And maybe it just is the jolt that they need to propel themselves to start it out in a positive way. Because, like I said, 3 against San Diego, 3 against Giants, and then 3 more against San Diego. I think after that, I think that's the number. I mean, that's a lot of games against teams in your own division. And really, if the Dodgers are playing Dodger baseball, then they should be able to get through those teams.
Yeah, I mean,
and win the series.
Yeah, if they win, that's what I'm saying. I mean, if they win, they score a lot of runs and they take advantage early. It's actually 4 against San Diego next week, so it's actually 4. So 7 games. That's a lot of games.
That's why I started off. Send a message. First game, boom, beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
May, show up. Show up, May. Bats, show up. You guys show up and do your part, and we start out with a W. And then if he does have the quality start, it saves the bullpen. And how many times does the bullpen just get taxed? So you save a bullpen which has a brand new guy with Kopech and Yates they're back in. So that's good. And they both looked good. Love to see them on the mound. I was a little worried about Kopech because I'd heard he had some troubles in OKC, but he looked pretty solid when he came in. And then Tanner Scott, too. He's kind of fix the issues that he had. So I think those additions to the bullpen will help the Dodgers in this series 1,000,000,000%.
It's just kind of weird to say that a series is this important in early June. I mean, usually like this time of year, we're not even talking about the standings, or we don't even have these kind of games. But it's kind of wild that the Dodgers and San Diego are already having. I mean, it just shows you how obviously the rivalry, but if there is a rivalry, has grown between both teams.
It is. I agree.
It's crazy how early June we're having already a big series where there's going to be a lot of fans probably in all 3 games, and even next week, right? I mean, there's going to be sellouts all 4 of those games, and it's going to be fun to watch for sure. I wanted to ask you, because of course we're playing San Diego this week. I mean, do you think there is a rivalry then with San Diego? Like, do we have a rivalry with the Padres, or is it just something that they came up with recently?
I think it's more of a recent thing than anything, but I think it's been recent, and it's grown to it's huge. It's a huge thing. I mean, as a Dodger fan, my entire life, I mean, as a kid, I hated the Yankees. It was the Yankees. Like, they beat us in the World Series a couple times in a row. I hated that as a little kid. So that was just like, Yankees, hate Yankees, do not like Yankees. And then, interdivision, the Giants, always that thing. And it's like, I don't know. As of recent, I would have to say the Padres and Dodgers rivalry is bigger to me right now than the Giant-Dodger one. And that could change with this series or something, or the next series against the Giant. But it just seems the last few years that the Padre versus Dodgers, it just has a little more oomph when it comes to rivalries.
Yeah, and it seems like both teams don't like each other either. I mean, the players don't like each other. I don't know if you noticed. I mean, fans probably see it too. I mean, they hate each other. They do not like each other. I mean, there's a lot of animosity, especially with the Machado history, him being within L.A.
I don't like him. I don't. Yeah. And here's the sad part about Manny. I liked Manny when he was a Dodger. I thought when Dodgers.
Well, he never ran at first base, though. I mean.
I know, but there's something about Manny that I take it back now, believe me. But when he was a Dodger, I wanted him to stay a Dodger. I wanted him to work something out to keep that dude in a Dodger uniform. And then when you started seeing some of what he does and how his character is, yeah, then it's like, no, I don't like him. And then he tried to say that the Padres would win a World Series before the Dodgers. Yeah. He said that fan filmed it. Like, man, he's easy not to like.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I think he's one of the most hated players for sure by Dodger fans. He has to be.
He has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be. And I mean, Bonds was like that. I mean, back when I used to work with the Dodgers, I felt like Bonds was always that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he would get all the boo birds at Dodger Stadium when he would come out.
Oh, yeah. Well, he cheated, so, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Jeff Roll says, first game is big for the Dodgers. I could not agree more. Jeff Roll, you're right. This is how you set the tone. You get a win. You get on a roll. You build the momentum. Nice stuff. Raiderman says, ever since the Machado trade, bad blood started. Do you agree on that, Mike?
What was Raiderman saying? Oh, ever since the Machado trade, yeah. I mean,
that's when the bad blood started.
That's kind of where it started between, the Dodgers and San Diego for sure. Although, remember, Machado went to San Diego on free agency, right? He didn't get traded to San Diego. But, first, since he came to L.A., of course, the Dodgers traded for him. And then, he was here for, 2 or 3 months. It wasn't even that long. I mean, it was just like the trade deadline trade, and then
it was a rental. Right?
Yeah, basically. And then, of course, I think the World Series is where it kind of started, because remember, that's where we saw him not running to first, and it was kind of like a national story. Dodgers have this player that's not running to first base, and that kind of just caused issues. And yeah, I mean, he goes to San Diego, and there's been obviously history between both teams. They've played in the playoffs now a few times, which is really fun to watch, because for many years, these teams never played in the playoffs, right? Because San Diego has been an awful team for so long.
Long.
I mean, they've only been to 2 World Series, never won a World Series, and I mean, they've had some good years, but really, they've been bad, right? The Dodgers have been a lot better historically, and to finally see them play against each other in the playoffs, I think it's really helped build the rivalry. But for me, I think the Dodgers, I don't know, I still think the Giants are the only true rival, because I think once San Diego gets lousy again, which is going to happen, right? I mean, come on, the next 3 or 4 years, this team's going to be awful. The rivalry's going to be gone, right? I just don't see it sticking around. Whereas the Dodgers and Giants, it doesn't matter. I mean, basically, the Dodgers could be the last place, which they haven't been in so long, but the Giants have been really bad, last couple years. That they're good this year, but even when they're really bad, Giants and Dodgers seems like it's always a close game. And there's a lot of history going back to the New York days. So I think for me, it's still the Dodgers and Giants, the number one rivalry. But this series against San Diego, I guess, has been, it's still going to be a good series for sure.
It's growing. Yeah, it's growing. I feel the rivalry between the Dodgers and Padres is a solid rivalry right now because of the last few years. But I agree with you said too. It's like if they stop spending or trying to acquire players and we're in a rebuilding year. Yeah, I feel like you do that a couple times and that rivalry dies. And I do agree that the Giant rivalry is still the biggest one because that goes back to New York when both teams were in New York back in the early 50s and late 40s. So I still think the Giants is the one. But I'll tell you what, if I had to deal with, okay, I'll put the question to you. If you had to deal with Padre fans or Giant fans?
Oh, man. Jesus, that's an impossible question. I hate them both. But, no, for me, it's got to be the Giants fans. I mean, I got too much family members that are Giants fans. I mean, half of my family lives in the Bay Area, so I got to deal with them all the time. So
they're the worst.
They're the worst fans, yeah.
And if you're a Giant fan trolling right now and you're watching,
which they probably are.
You guys are definitely the worst. I can handle a Padre fan over you guys.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, man.
No, and it doesn't just go for baseball. I think in all sports, all Bay Area fans are the worst. I mean, 49er fans, Niner fans,
they're the worst.
Warrior fans, all these guys, they're all annoying.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
All of them, man.
Yeah.
All of them.
I mean, it's
that
definitely
is really good.
Oh, this is a good question here for Raider Man. It seems like Dave Roberts is making decisions on metric numbers again instead of game gut feelings. What do you think about? I kind of agree with Raider Man there. I think Dave Roberts is going back to his analytics days, and there has been some questionable decisions this week, especially with Kasperius coming out again for the ninth inning, which made no sense at all in that game on Saturday against the Cardinals. What do you think about that, Brad? What do you think of Dave Roberts? Is he going back to the analytics days again?
I think so, but what's something that when you kind of talk to me about, general managers and other guys making decisions for, Dave and a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You brought that up, and I thought that was a really good point. But I thought, well, I mean, how valid is that? How much does Dave Roberts really call? I mean, doesn't he really pretty much handle it all? And I guess call me naive, kind of believe that to a point until Brandon Gomes has just said that regarding Conforto, that Conforto is going to be up with the team and he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He's staying with the team and he's going to be a fixture throughout the whole entire season and into the postseason. So who's making that decision? Is Gomes already making that decision that's not even a Dave Roberts thing. So I don't know how the calls are being done, but I'd love to see the inner workings of how that gets picked. Like, hey, you need to play this guy. Hey, maybe you don't need to play this guy. Hey, this guy's going to be on the team. So if you're going to try to move him around, don't, because he's going to be here. So I just worry about some of that. And I feel like some of those calls that Dave has made recently has made me head scratching. I mean, not crazy like, oh, he's a bum. Throw him out. No.
The Fire Roberts comments we always get.
It's one of these, like.
Head scratcher.
Yeah, why would he do that? I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It goes back to what you were saying last week, Brad, about why doesn't Kim play every day, right? And the only reason why he's not playing every day has to be because of analytics. Because look what he's done. He had another great day yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, why else is he not playing every day? I mean, if you see what he's been doing in the games he is playing, I mean, the guy is the best hitter for the Dodgers, right? But he's not playing on certain days based on, I assume, matchups. Because, and that goes to analytics, which I think kind of annoys fans, right? Because, I don't know, I agree with fans on this. I think analytics is a tool, but the Dodgers go way too far on it. I think they've used it a lot. They've used it way too much at times, and it hasn't helped. I mean, remember back, what was it 6-7 years ago, the Dodgers were using players all over the field. Nobody had a position, and they were using guys at second and shortstop and center field. They were moving guys all over the field for analytics, and it was stupid. I mean, that's what it was. And I think the Dodgers, of course, learned from that. They're not doing that anymore. But I do think that the Dodgers go a bit too far as an organization. We can't blame it all on Dave Roberts, right? Because like you're saying, the front office pressures the analytics, and the Dodgers as an organization have to work on that moving forward, which they did last year. But now they're going back to it, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, I agree, but I just think there's more going into those decisions with with Gomes
Well, as an
and
organization, they make those
yeah,
decisions, right?
they're making those
Yeah.
decisions, and maybe that's because of Robert's decisions he's made in the past that they don't like, and maybe they're just like trying to give him a long leash. I mean, I don't know what the whole Friedman involvement and the Gomes involvement is on every day, but it seems to be something going on there on how stuff's getting called. Here's one from Jeff. He says Dodgers Giants is a bigger rivalry. Padres have been more relevant in the last few years, so it seems bigger. And that goes to back what you were saying too. Only exception was the 2021 when Giants won 107 games and the division by 1 game over LA. Yep. And I agree. Dodgers Giants, I think, is a huge rivalry. But Padres, because they've been good recently and there's been some trash talking between them, I think it's become a very big rivalry. And it just depends who's going to be in that second spot. Who's going to be battling the Dodgers for the number 1 spot? Is it going to be the Padres or is it going to be the Giants? Like,
Well, it comes down to the
Padres
next
gonna
couple
go
weeks.
skid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
Interdivision play. So now you're gonna find out what's going on for sure.
Yeah, and like today, I mean, today is going to be a really, really loud game. Even though it's a Monday night game with 6:40 local time, it's going to be super loud because it's the first time the Dodgers and Padres play since that playoff series last year. First time the Dodgers go back to Petco Park. So it's going to be super loud. There's going to be a lot of boos. You know, when Ohtani's up and all these guys are up. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of Dodger fans, too. Although they try to restrict the tickets again. But, as we know, you can always go to StubHub and all that to get tickets. But that's kind of stupid,
dude,
right?
What is that thing? I mean, I heard the same thing. What? There's like tickets for people that aren't Padre fans.
Well, you can't buy a ticket directly from the Padres if you don't live in San Diego, right? That's what they do.
Well,
that's
yeah,
what they've been doing the last few years, which is kind of stupid because Padre fans still resell their tickets, right? So Dodger fans still find a way to get in, which is just it's absurd, right? It's stupid.
You're lucky people even go to your games. Man, when they played at Jack Murphy Stadium back in the day, it's like, come on, I think tickets were like $350 for the outfield or something like that.
Well, that wasn't a good stadium for baseball, period, right? I mean, it was a football stadium. Yeah.
And even that was bad. That's why it got torn down. So.
Yeah. I mean, now, of course, you're playing in a really nice park, right? I mean, downtown San Diego, it's super cool to go there. The last time I was there was a bad day because it was when the Dodgers got knocked out in 2022. I was at that game 4, but it's a super, Dodger. I know there's gonna be a lot of Dodger fans. Maybe somebody's watching out there who's going to the game tonight. Check in because it's gonna be really fun if you're going. I wish I was going tonight to that game.
I think they're doing the World Series mock trophy that they're gonna give out at Dodger Stadium when
that's next week. Yeah.
So that's kind of funny that they're doing it against the Padres. That's a little stab at you right there.
Yeah.
I like the way they do that. Like. Just a little jab, nothing too big. Just hey, here's our trophy for what we got. Yeah, your fans can have
another one. Yeah, another one. Yeah. I mean, because come on, the San Diego. I mean, that's why I think they're pissed off, San Diego, because they know they blew it last year. I mean, come on, the Dodgers had to go to a bullpen game in Game 4, and San Diego was at home. I mean, it was over. I mean, we were already getting ready to talk about Dave Roberts losing his job. You remember that video you did that morning, Brad? It's like, I mean, those are.
Joke. That's a big joke right there.
Yeah.
That was because they owned the series against the Dodgers last year, so they were favored too as well. It was like everybody was thinking, but the Dodgers, the big Dodger in the sky wasn't going to let that happen.
Yeah, well, I just think the Dodgers showed that they're one of the greatest, offensive teams ever. I mean, they have one of the best lineups in baseball history. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's why they were able to win that series. And then Game 5 was a really great game. Let's not forget Yamamoto was great. That was like his coming out, right? His first big start in his Major League Baseball career against Yu Darvish, and it was one of the best Dodger wins that I can remember in the last few years, and it's funny how that series kind of set the tone for the World Series, right? Because think about it, against the Mets, the Dodgers didn't have much trouble, and then against the Yankees, we know after Game 1 it was a joke, right? Even Game 5 they had to come back, but Games 2, 3, and 4 the Dodgers were on it, right? So I mean, that series is what set the tone for the Dodgers to win the championship, right? That's how important it was that NLDS win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because once again, that goes back to momentum too. Like You just did something that you weren't expected to do, and you took care of business. So, but the one thing, the name, man, I hate when people bring up Yu Darvish. I just think about it. Game 7, World Series, Yu Darvish pitching. I
Yeah.
feel like that mistake that Roberts did during that World Series, that Game 7, was like that should have been a bullpen game right there. That should not have been you, Darvish, starting it out. And I'm up. I hate to still be upset over that. And I know the trash throws, and all that
Well, they
stuff
were
was going.
cheating. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
but still, I was just no, don't start you. And then he goes on and like, hey, he's pitched pretty decent even since then. It's like, why couldn't he have pitched out one game decent for us?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
sorry, but when you bring up you, it's like,
yeah. I mean, that was a really heartbreaking. I think it was the first World Series for the Dodgers in almost 30 years. It's kind of crazy, right? They didn't go to the World Series for 29 years. The Dodgers.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
that's
And
what's kind of crazy. I don't know. I think that's what the craziest stat is. Yeah.
I thought we were going to lock that thing up and win that Game 7, so I don't want to talk anymore about it. That's just really, but
Yeah.
you, Darvish, just like you. Yeah.
We got a lot of
Here's
comments here, though. We've been forgetting
here's
about
Ron.
everybody. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're seeing this for the first time. And let's kind of go through what people have been saying. I don't know, where did we leave off? We left off at Raider Man. Oh yeah, Rippeter saying it's just Machado that owes his contract to the Dodger fans. He lost a bet. Yeah, I mean, I think he lost a bet, right? I mean, I think it's on video. He clearly lost it.
I just saw that again too. By the way, that's so funny.
And then, this is Lop was saying. However this series goes, nothing to get worried about. This is what we go through to get to the championship, right? I mean, obviously the Dodgers going through adversity again this year, which, I mean, I don't know, Brad. I really thought that the Dodgers were going to cruise this year if they had all their players healthy, because they were arguably, the best team again on paper by a long shot. But the injuries is what was pulling this team back. I mean, I think everybody has to agree with it. If the Dodgers were fully healthy right now, there's no way this would be a 1 or 2 game lead. I mean, come on. With the way this roster was constructed, they'd be up 6 or 7 games or more.
100%, man. Yeah. You're right. And I figured the same thing. When the off season, when spring training started, we were already saying the Dodgers had won the offseason. They won the World Series and they won the offseason with all all the additions that they made to the team. And I thought the same thing. I thought they're going to just cruise. They're going to have a 10-game lead by the All-Star break over everyone in their division. They'll have the best record in baseball. I thought that all the way through. But I also thought that's something that I don't like when teams do that, especially the Dodgers. Like, if they cruise to a 15-game lead and just get to sit out the whole first part of the playoffs, man, I just do not like that. And I've never liked that. So I feel that you got to battle. So you have that grit. It teaches you inside to be ready to battle back and battle for your wins. And I mean, you don't want it to be close where it comes down to one game here or there, but you don't want them being up 10 games at the end of the season. You really don't want that. I just don't think that's good for the team. So I like seeing a little closer, but then again, I'd like to see them with a nice lead now and then be a little closer at the end. That's how I'd like to see it. But
yeah, it's obviously the best case scenario is to get hot before the playoffs. To get the momentum going in is super important. The Dodgers last year kind of had that, right? They got a lot of momentum on the last week of the season, winning the division against San Diego, right? Remember that they went 2 out of 3 at Dodger Stadium, which was super important. This year, it might happen again. They might have to win the division on the last week, which is kind of crazy if it gets down to that. But it's also, I think the Dodgers, would like to have a little bit more cushion. You don't want to go into that situation again where you have to win to go win the division on the last week. It's super nerve-wracking as a fan. I mean, I remember that last week I was really sweating it out watching those games. I knew the Dodgers, if they didn't win that division, they were going to go to the wild card round, which would have been game over, right, at that point, because the Dodgers had no pitching whatsoever. To do it.
Left.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have been good.
Tank.
Yeah.
No, exactly. But I'll go baback to it again. Perfect storm is coming, so none of this even matters. Okay.
Perfect storm in the next couple weeks.
The perfect storm is coming, and the perfect storm happens after the All-Star break. when the
Okay.
Dodgers go
Yeah.
to
All right.
when the Dodgers go to full strength, full strength. So we're talking. What are we talking right now? A month,
Yeah.
5 weeks, something like that. 5.5 weeks.
Yeah.
5.5 weeks. The perfect blue storm is going to hit, and the Dodgers are going to come back strong, and they're going to have Snell, Glasnow, and Sasaki back in.
Yeah.
But can you imagine if Sasaki was not injured right now and started one of these games in San Diego? What kind of reception would he get from the fans of
Oh
San
yeah.
Diego?
I mean,
Oh my God!
yeah, the way that offseason went, I mean, it was looking like he was going to go there, and then he, last minute kind of switches over to the
Oh
Dodgers. Yeah,
wow!
it would have been pretty bad, for sure.
Yeah,
It would have been fun to watch though, because I'm sure Sasaki would have silenced the fans, right? But
yeah.
it's definitely I don't know. It's gonna be. I'm just really excited to watch these games this week because I think it's gonna be really really live. I mean, it's too bad they're not on national TV. Too bad it's just gonna be on as we know, if you have the MLB package or if you're in LA and San Diego, these
Yeah.
games should be nationally televised. I think these are going to be some really fun games to watch between both teams.
So let me bring this up because we get a comment here from Raider Man. It says Otani is struggling in RISP. It is because he's focusing on pitching lately? Question mark. And then MP goes Raider Man agreed on that. What do you think? Because now Otani got hit in the foot in yesterday's game,
Yeah.
so they're going to push him an extra day to be able to put him back in there to pitch bullpen. What do you think? Do you think that could be affecting him? Because yeah, his OPS is low. I mean, he's not hitting the way he should be hitting. Do you think that could be because he's focusing on pitching?
I mean, it could be. I mean, it's kind of hard to say because I think Otani's still having a good year. I mean, it's not like he's having a bad
No, he
year.
is.
I
Yeah,
mean, he's having a
43
pretty
home
solid
runs.
year.
Yeah,
It's just not Otani numbers that we saw last year. But come on, I just don't think we're ever going to see that Shohei Ohtani again for 2024. He had the best season probably of his career. I mean, I know it was his first year with the Dodgers and they won the World Series, but to say Otani's going to do that again is unlikely. I mean,
yeah.
I don't see it, Brad. I think we saw the best Ohtani we're going to see as a hitter last year. I don't know if you
Okay,
agree with that, but I think we saw the best we're going to see from him.
okay. So he's 7 home runs away from 30.
Yeah.
So if he got 30 home runs before All-Star break, do you think that he could be on a pace for 60, or would the pitching part come into play where now he's not going to get to play as
Yeah,
many
well, no,
games?
no. If he starts pitching,
Yeah,
there's no way he's hitting 60. There's no
yeah.
way.
There's no way. So you're
No.
saying that right off the bat?
Yeah, because he's not going to even play every day. He's going to start taking
Yeah,
days off, and it's going to be a total. We're going to see a different Ohtani if he starts pitching once a week as a starter, like he was doing with the Angels. We are not going
yeah,
to see the same Ohtani offensively, and I think that's why the Dodgers are hesitant to bring him out there as a pitcher because they know that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's
yeah.
just common sense. It's impossible for him to put up the numbers like you're saying, hit 60 home runs, hit 30 home runs. He hits 30 by July. He gets another 30 the last few months. It's not going to happen if he starts pitching. I
No
mean,
way, huh?
I don't
Yeah.
think so. I don't see it.
Well, he's not hitting with runners in scoring position very well right now because his OPS is pretty low on that. But I did notice that when Kim is playing, Kim is the ninth batter because Otani's first. And so I feel like that's a very good opportunity because Kim's hitting 414 right now.
Yeah, it's
He's hitting,
crazy.
Kim has Ted Williams numbers right now, 1.02 OPS. So I feel like Roberts put Kim at that ninth spot because Otani leads off because Kim gets on, Otani's up next. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kim has been a super important. Him getting all those hits as a number 9 hitter, right? I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
number 9 hitters historically don't hit 400, right? I mean, it's nuts. I mean,
Right?
I think
Yeah.
eventually, Kim, if he keeps hitting like this, he's not going to be hitting number 9. They're going to have to push him
No.
up higher in the lineup. But yeah, I think Ohtani. Let's not get too worried about him. I think he's
Okay.
still, come on, Otani's still the MVP for the Dodgers. He has to be. I don't know if you agree with me here, Brad, but I think he's still
Oh yeah.
the MVP for them.
100%. And then he'll definitely be the MVP if he starts pitching and starts contributing to wins, pitching and hitting. Then I mean, I don't know how he would not be an MVP at that point. So
Yeah.
winning the MVP is just a DH, which was huge in itself. To be able to win it as a pitcher and a hitter is also another huge accomplishment. So He's going to get pushed back just a day because of getting hit in the foot yesterday. So they won't put him pitching, I think, till tomorrow or the day after, from what I saw.
We got Jeff saying Machado makes the rivalry bigger by running his mouth. I would agree with Jeff there. The guy just doesn't know when to shut up. I mean, it's true.
That is so good, and that is so true. You are right on that one, yeah.
And then we got Ryan saying, honestly, with the Giants, I don't know where their runs have been coming from. They're just lucky they have good pitching. Yeah, I mean, the Giants have good pitching, right? I mean, it's obvious. They've had really good pitching to kick off the 2025 season. They're not going to score a lot of runs. That's why the Dodgers, they jump on their pitching this weekend. It's over because they can't keep up with the Dodgers. You know, they're not going to score more than 3 or 4 runs.
Yeah. Well, I see the one from I think Ray said this before. Ray Velasquez, numbnuts Roberts, DFA Conforto already, you bum. Keep Kim on the field. Bruce Bochy, where are you?
Oh, yeah. You're always asking for Bruce. Always ask.
I don't know, Ray. I read it this morning when I was going through Dodger news today.
Yeah.
And I read it, and I was like, oh, here's a quote from Brandon Gomes, right?
Yeah.
Head dude at the Dodgers. And he says, quote unquote, look for Conforto to be on the team the entire season and play through a season and into the postseason.
He said it.
He'll be a mainstay fixture on the team. So Conforto's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're running him out there.
What a way to take pressure off of Conforto, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Conforto, you think, man, I'm not going anywhere. These guys are still behind me. I think it's good for the player to kind of take that pressure off him. I don't know what you think about that. Are they just trying to take pressure off of Conforto when they say things like that?
That's a good call. I mean, maybe that is because it's such a mind thing right there. I mean, he's up to 170 now. So he has come up a little bit. I think he was down at 143 or something like that for a little while. So he's starting to contribute. You'll see a base hit here and there, a couple of walks. He gets in there. He'll have an RBI here and there. He had that game-winning RBI in the 8th a few games back. So if he's on the team and he's not going anywhere, Ray, then I guess we'll just have to get used to him. But we're not bringing Bruce Bochy
in. Yeah, I don't think the Rangers are going to be firing Bruce anytime soon. Then come on, we don't want an ex-Giant coaching the team. Come on, right?
No.
I mean, I know we have an ex-Giant, with Dave Roberts, but I mean an ex-Giant legend, right? Because Bochy's a legend up in the Bay Area. So
100%.
I mean, he has to be, And
I have mad respect for that guy. I mean, but I don't want to see him in the dugout in a Dodger uniform anytime soon.
I mean, he's one of the greatest managers of all time. Also a legend in San Diego. I mean, come on, he went to the World Series with them with Tony Gwynn back in '98.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not leaving Texas. We got Dave Roberts, and I just think about. I know everybody always complains about the Dodgers, analytics, but we have Andrew Friedman at the helm of the Dodgers. I mean, the guy is like analytics number one. Andrew Friedman, going back to his days with Tampa Bay. I mean, the Dodgers hired Andrew Friedman, and they knew they were going to go all in on analytics when they hired him, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say, Brad?
Yeah, I would 100% say that. And Friedman is worth what he is to the team. I mean, maybe you don't agree with everything that he does, but you're not going to agree with every single movement a team does anyways. But for the most part, I mean, he's got the best interest of the team. He's got the best interest for the fans because all they're trying to do is put winning teams out there to win games and win championships for the team and for the fans. And you know what?
Well, that's what they've done. I mean, the Dodgers go to the playoffs basically every year for the first time in their franchise history.
Mm-hmm.
They never did that before. I mean, going back to, of course, it was a lot harder to go to the playoffs before, but there was a lot of years that the Dodgers didn't go to the playoffs. I mean, years and years and years. And now with this new ownership and, with Andrew Friedman, the Dodgers basically win the division almost every year outside of 21, where they made it as a wild card, but still, went to the NLCS that year.
They won a lot of divisions. I mean, I can go back. I mean, you can go back to, I think even like 2003, 2004 when I was working there.
Oh yeah,
they were winning divisions back then, but there's a few that they've lost. But they sputtered out of all postseason like immediately.
Yeah,
like just never had anything to go. Hey, I want to ask you about Freeman lately. What's up with Freddie? Seems like he's in a funk. I've seen a lot of 0 for 4s out of him. I think out of the last 4 games, he has not done much. I think he needs a day off every now and then.
Yeah,
I
you were
really
talking
do.
about that. Yeah.
I mean, I think the Freeman funk is actually something going on where I think that dude should have a day off, and I don't think he wants ever to have a day off.
No.
And you think that there's no way he's taking a day off against the Padres?
No.
Like, there's no way.
No, I don't think he's taking a day off the next 2 weeks, Brad. I think
Yeah.
these games are too important. I mean,
Yeah,
think about what they're playing for the next few weeks. I mean, this is like, I mean, it's only June, but they're very important games. I mean, I think everybody has to at least agree with me here. I think the Dodgers both. I mean, it's probably more important for San Diego and San Francisco, but the Dodgers too don't want to lose all these games and then have to play, catch up in July, right? Because that wouldn't be good.
And Hershiser, Oral Hershiser, the great Oral Hershiser says,
Bulldog.
Yeah, the Bulldog says by June, definitely start knowing your team. And so the Dodgers know their team. And so Freeman is going to be sent out here because he's an integral part of the Dodgers. So he will be out there for sure. But that doesn't change the fact that I think when they're playing a subpar team and they have a nice little lead, I think Freeman should take a day off. Sit one out.
I just think it's refreshing to see the Dodgers having two players in Ohtani and Freeman who never take a day off. I think it's just awesome.
Never.
Because baseball, as we know, has changed so much and nobody's doing that. But the Dodgers 100%. Have two players that are, committed to their team. I mean, Ohtani doesn't like taking days off either, and Freeman is the same way. And I think that's just awesome. I think it's great we have two guys like that on our team.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Muncy, his resurgence, and what he's been doing? Happy with what you're seeing?
Yeah, I think it's been great. I think Max Muncy has definitely picked it up, and I think it's great to see, Muncy once again contributing, and as we know, he really struggled to kick off the year. They were talking about on, I can't remember which broadcast it was. I think it was a national broadcast. They were talking about how Muncy has really done well since he started wearing the goggles, right? The prescription goggles, and that's really helped out his vision. I think that's that was a good observation there. I can't remember if it was ESPN or Fox who brought it up, but it was a good observation. Ever since the eyeglasses came in, the goggles came in, the numbers have been going up.
Yeah, and he's committed because he wears them every single game now. I mean, remember he tried the torpedo bat for a day and threw that out and said, nope, not doing that. But the stigmatism was diagnosed from Kike's eye doctor, and so Muncy jumped on it, wears the glasses, and he's been hitting well, batting .235, .781 OPS. But, I mean, that's from where he came from. I mean, his batting average was, like, anemic. People were like, what's going on? So
we got a good comment here from Ryan saying they'll be lucky getting 5-5 in this 10-game stretch. What do you think? I'm going to go with 6-4 in these 10 games.
Whoa,
what do you got, Brad?
I was feeling the same thing. 6-4.
6-4.
Exactly. Yep, I'm feeling the 6-4. Love to see a 7-3.
No, I don't think so. Not with the injuries.
But,
yeah.
But the bats would have to just be off the hook for that to happen. So I don't think they're going to go 5-5 though. I think they're going to do better than that.
Yeah, I think that would be a good observation. But yeah, we're coming to an end here with the live stream today. We want to thank everybody who hopped on. Make sure to like this video and share it and subscribe. Right, Brad?
Exactly. But one thing I want to talk to you about before. Let's visit the Walker Buehler situation. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Because I've been saving this one let's not get off until we talk this.
Yeah.
Would you actually get to the trade deadline and let's say Boston's out of it, which they kind of are right now, third place or something like that, like 10 games back? Would you, as a Dodger manager or a Dodger general manager, would you make the move to bring Walker Buehler back on right after the
All-Star game? I'm going to pass on that, Brad.
You would?
I would. I would not trade for Walker Buehler. I think Walker's had his time with the Dodgers. He had a great career with us. He won the World Series for us, and I think it's a good way to end his Dodger career last year, getting that last out. And I want to keep that good memory of Walker. No, I would not bring him back. I mean, the Dodgers have enough pitchers. They just have injuries right now. They don't need Walker Buehler. They don't need him.
Okay, so here's my take on the Walker Buehler thing. Because the Dodgers offered him the same amount of money that he signed with Boston for.
Yeah.
So for him not to go with the Dodgers and do the Boston, I feel like because of that, no, you don't bring him back.
Because he chose Boston over L.A.
Yeah, he chose Boston over L.A., and that's, But the thing is, the Dodgers work well with Boston, so they love doing trades together. So
Yeah.
that's something that could pop up if it was needed. But I think by the All Star break and by the end of July, when the trade deadline happens, I think will already be decided because the perfect storm will be here. Our starters will be back. The team will be firing on all cylinders, and that's how I believe that we're gonna continue
Yeah,
on.
but I just can't see. I think the Dodgers. I mean, could you imagine Walker Buehler coming back to L.A. after leaving in free agent? I mean, that would be absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, I just can't see it happen. I mean, I don't know. It could happen. I guess Boston's been a complete disappointment so far this year.
yeah,
I know that I think they won their series against the Yankees. I could be mistaken there, but they
yeah.
haven't been very good. The Red Sox, right? So they're obviously probably going
No,
to be
they're like,
sellers at the trade
yeah,
deadline.
well, if they're 10.5 back now,
Yeah.
unless they go on a tear, for the next 5 weeks, yeah. And here's a couple comments on that. Ryan R says, "Nah to Walker meatballs," and Raiderman says, "No more reclamation projects." I love that
And then
too.
Raider Man saying Freddie will bounce back. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he will.
Yeah, he
But
is.
I just say give him a day off because you need to count on him.
No,
And
Brad.
I
Let's
think
let's
that
keep the everyday going. I like the everyday players. Come on.
okay. How about when you're playing subpar teams though?
No, I
Like,
like guys that play every day.
all right, I
I
see
like.
what you're saying on that. All right. Let's wrap this thing up.
Let's wrap it up. So I want to thank everybody for watching today's live stream. As always, Brad, take us away.
All right, hey man, thanks a lot. Well, important series coming up against the Padres. Got three, then four, then the Giants. So we're gonna take this day by day. But just remember, as you go through today, think Dodger blue, and let's go Dodgers.
Let's go Dodgers, especially today. Thanks for watching, everybody.